is taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, so hour 3 of Coast to Coast on Where Do You Hurt midweek Wednesday on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Programming note, tomorrow I'll be doing the show with Spittin' Speeds, my guy Dane Martinez, who I enjoy. I get to see him periodically. Tomorrow will be that day, 3 to 6 on C2C tomorrow. And then Friday, I'll be doing the show with the esteemed Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live from Toronto, Ontario, a great city in Canada. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, I have a question for you. Are you going to do the playoff picture as we stand after 7 weeks, or are you going to push all of that to tomorrow's show and start with Fernando Mania passing away and the story of his death at 63? Which one are you going with here?
We are going to start a fresh hour with the World Series. That is where we are going to go now here, of course, with the Yankees and the Dodgers getting ready for Friday night. We mentioned at the top of the show, and you and Gabe talked about it, Fernando Valenzuela passed away at 63 years old. Of course, burst onto the scene, big part of that 81 team. That season through that no-hitter. I love those clips of that no-hitter with Vin Scully on the call against the Cardinals in, I believe that was 1990. So Fernando Mania, which spread across the land for the Dodgers. Unfortunately, Scotty passing away at 63 last night, late.
Always awful to hear of legends passing. I also am rooting heavily against the Dodgers starting every day, but now in earnest on Friday with Game 1 of the World Series. I have no time to worry about this after today. I feel horrible for him, his family, the Dodgers, and the organization and baseball in general. When a legend passes, it's always a terrible thing. But these things happen, as you know, and it's just tough for everybody, everyone grieving. And then I am more worried, as you know, about Garrett Cole and the Yankees in Game 1 against Flaherty Friday night. That's all I care about. No offense. I feel awful for anyone that loved him. I loved watching him pitch. I saw him pitch 100 times. I saw him pitch live 100 times. So I actually, I'll be able to move past it. I'm on to the World Series real quick.
And yesterday, Dave Roberts was on to the World Series. We joked that it would probably be until Friday afternoon with him to name his starting pitcher for Game 1. But, the league, they want this stuff. They want to get all the hype, build everything up. I'm sure they told Roberts, let's go, tell us who's starting. And it will be Jack Flaherty in Game number 1 against Garrett Cole. They will pitch Yamamoto in Game number 2 on Saturday night. So the rotation set up for the Dodgers for the first couple of days in Los Angeles. The other injury stuff for them of concern was Freddie Freeman. He said yesterday he is going to be 100% ready to go Friday night in Game 1. So the Dodgers looking healthy as they get ready for the Yankees, Scotty.
I like the Yankees' chances against Flaherty with Cole going. I really do. Now what? Is it Rodon in Game 2? Is that what they're doing?
The Yankees have not said that yet. They have not said who is pitching in Game number 2. All they have done is say Cole in Game 1. Now, there's some theories here. You let me know what you like better. Many believe that you pitch the lefty, Rodon, at home at Yankee Stadium.
And his Game 2.
And it's, that has been the talk that's been thrown around. I personally, like you, would do that. I'd pitch Schmidt on Saturday night in Game number 2 and save Rodon for Yankee Stadium.
Cortez in Game 4, they think he's going to pitch. Would you let another lefty go out there and see what he's made of?
It sounds like if Cortez is involved, and I'm going to play you what he said in a couple of minutes, if he's involved, it sounds like it's out of the bullpen. It doesn't sound like he's going to be a guy that's going to start. So it sounds like Game 4 would be Louis Heel, like in the Cleveland series. He would be the guy that gets the ball. Roberts said yesterday he doesn't know yet about 3 and 4. He's got 2 options. One of them will be a bullpen game. The other will be Walker Buehler. I'm sure that's going to be determined, Scotty, by are they up 2-0? Are they down 2-0? Are they 1-1? Whatever they are going to New York on Wednesday is probably, or how much does he use his bullpen? Is it fresh for Monday? So those things will be determined down the line. I've got a lot of Yankee stuff for you because why not? I mean, we're rooting for the Yankees. We're going to let you know that right now. Let's start with Aaron Judge, a couple from him. Number one, he has obviously done a lot in the Yankee uniform, but for the first time, he is going to be playing in the Fall Classic. Very excited.
Yeah, the journey's always a tough one, but I think that's the fun in all this is, enjoying the good times, the bad times, learning from them, trying to improve from them so you can get to this point. So, now getting to this point, this is where the real fun starts. For years as a kid watching the Yankees, playing the World Series, win World Series, just that excitement, the emotion, how the city comes alive is something, definitely special, and looking forward to doing that with this group.
Let's go. I mean, honestly, this kid's from California. He's done so much in California. He hits the ball very well at Dodger Stadium. So does Stanton. Stanton has hit balls out of Dodger Stadium. So, Soto, to me, can hit anywhere. He can hit on the moon. So, if they can get those three going and then add a Labor Day bat and one guy from 5 to 9 produces. Like, I actually thought Volpe has played well in the playoffs and been making contact, and I've had absolutely no gripes about Jazz and Volpe on that left side of that infield. They're good. This is a good team. So, I would say Buehler would be a guy I'd worry about in New York. He's already come to New York at Citi Field and made mincemeat out of the Mets. So he's not afraid of big games, and he, emphatically says such. He's like, all I care about is big games. I don't care about regular season baseball. I don't care if I'm injured. Call me in October. I'm good to go. That guy is a money pitcher. So what I saw him do after 2 Tommy Johns to the Mets, I mean, his ball was moving like crazy, and he had all kinds of zip on it. So I'd worry about him at Yankee Stadium. I'll tell you that much. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if it's like a Rodon Buehler matchup, I'd probably bet on Buehler.
You mentioned obviously Judge being a SoCal, California guy, Stanton as well. We gave you all those gaudy numbers yesterday of what both of these guys have done at Dodger Stadium. Let's just say Judge is looking forward to hitting that.
It's going to be fun. I got a lot of family down there in Southern California, a lot of cousins that are down there that are going to be coming to the game. But I always love playing at Dodger Stadium. It's an electric atmosphere. One of the best fields in the game. It's definitely, I think, a lot of guys are looking forward to. I know even John Carlo as well. He's talked about it. It's his favorite place to play. So it's definitely going to be a good time out there with a lot of friends and family, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. His attitude is so unbelievable. It's like it's all just a big joke. Like, none of it's serious. He's always smiling and taking it all in stride. It's amazing to me. Like, he shows no nerves at all. It's like he's actually having fun.
It does seem like he's actually having fun, which is good. I think that getting to this point was a very big stress relief for him and Boone, because those are the two guys that kind of, over these last few years, when are they going to actually get to a World Series? But just getting here isn't going to be enough. They got to win it, because if they don't win it, it just puts it right back on your back. Yeah, you got there, but you didn't win. You got to finish the job.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take the wounds.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Talking about, the series and who he's giving the ball to.
He's very happy that he's going to be giving the ball to Garrett Cole, the Yankee ace. They spent a lot of money on Cole. Now it is time to deliver.
Able to give the ball to Garrett Cole to start postseason series, and how can he set the tone for you in this one?
Yeah, I mean, he's been everything we could have hoped when we brought him here. He's been, one of this era's aces. Obviously, he's had a great career on a Hall of Fame track. Beat us in 19 with Houston, and then to be able to bring him here, he obviously walked in here with a lot of expectations and a lot of weight on him to be the ace of our staff, and he's been every bit of that.
He won a Cy Young on a team that sucked. I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs, and he won the Cy Young. So he was the only thing bright about that team, and the fact that he's pitching Game 1 of the World Series. This is a guy that spent his entire life just obsessed with the Yankees. So since he was a little kid, he wanted to be a Yankee. And here he is, a Yankee, and now he's pitching in the World Series. This is gigantic.
It really is, as he'll be out there, of course, for game number 1. You mentioned Nestor Cortez before. Now, we don't know if it's official yet that he's going to be on the roster, but if he is absolutely ready to risk it all to be out there for his team.
Even we even had a conversation last series in Cleveland, when Hamilton went down, and we talked about the situation, and he was also, adamant no. And Leiter got activated, and he did his thing. But I think the conversations have been really clear throughout the whole postseason, and we have weighed in the consequences, that this can lead up to. But if I have a ring and then a year off of baseball, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, he's crazy, but I kind of like it. He's like, let's face it, he has busted his ass for this team. This guy pitches his ass off. I mean, for the last few years, he's been out there grinding and doing his thing, and you can give him the ball and he works. So I'm not going to argue with his risk factor. If he wants it that bad, let him have it. Like, honestly, there are guys in the history of the game that have pitched till their arm fell off The guy wants to win. He wants to be out there. He loves his Yankees and his teammates, and he loves being a part of this. Nasty's crazy. So you expect anything less? I don't.
I don't expect anything less either. I think they will put him on the roster, and I think that he will be a part of it. We will find that out on Friday, of course. The Dodgers are favored to win the World Series. We know this already at minus $122. But what's really matters here now is that it is time for the season-long World Series, the series-long World Series props. Since I'm not going to be with you on Friday before Game 1, I figured I'd give you the taste of these today before Friday night. All right, here we go. Here's a few for you. Now, I think
golf tournament when the Yankees are in Game 1 of the World Series, we needed you, and then there you went again to your big golf tournament because the Yankees, you and I have an affinity for the Yankees, and then there you go. And where are you hanging out on top of it all? Up near Boston, so you can.
Yeah, but
what are you going to wear? Your Yankee hat?
Oh, believe me, they don't like us. They don't like us at this place that we're going to. We have had incidents there in the past during Yankee playoff games, so it is going to be a rowdy atmosphere Friday and Saturday night for us at the Cape Cod Irish Open. All right, here's what I'm going with. I don't think anyone wins this series in less than 6 games. I think that this series is going to have some length to it. So instead of paying that, what did I just see up there, plus 105, plus 104 for the Yankees to win the series? Forget that. Take the unit and split it in half. Yankees in 6 at plus 600. Yankees in 7 at plus 500. If they win the series, it's going to be a lengthy one. We're going to go with that. Player to hit the longest home run of the World Series. It'll happen in Dodger Stadium, and it'll be Giancarlo Stanton, plus 550. Longest by distance home run of the World Series. We're going to go with Stanton. Most hits in the World Series. Soto, plus 850 to have the most hits in the entire series of all the players. We'll go with that. Now, this one, we know that Ohtani or Judge is probably going to be who hits the most home runs in the World Series. But if you want a deep shot, something a little further down the board that I think has a little bit of gas, how about Muncy at 11-1 to hit the most home runs in the World Series? Short porch at Yankee Stadium. We know he hits him at Dodger Stadium. I like that price. World Series MVP. Soto at plus 550. And my deep shot, small play deep shot, World Series MVP. Luke Weaver at, get this, Scotty, 220-1 to be the World Series MVP. Now, I know, stars everywhere. Ohtani, Judge, Soto, Betts, Giancarlo, all these names. Closers have won the World Series MVP a lot in the past. Wetland won it. Mariano won it. Let's say Weaver saves 4 games, and let's say he saves 4 games, and 3 of them are more than an inning. He'll be in the conversation, and that's a hell of a ticket to have if he does that. So that's why small deep shot on him.
You'll be retired. You'll be living in Cape Cod. You'll buy the golf course. You'll fire the entire staff that doesn't like Yankee fans. Now that's a fun plan.
It's a fun one with a little bit of gas, 220-1 for Luke.
Can we keep those sheet of integrity for the remainder of the week so that we can run those again, Mafia, on Friday?
Yes.
The sheet of integrity for the World Series is Carver Highs off gallivanting again on a golf tournament weekend while we're working the World Series. We're doing the important stuff over here. Keep the sheet of integrity so we can rerun it.
Are you with me on the Stanton longest homer?
Yes.
That he'll absolutely destroy one.
Except Muncy. Okay. I'm not having it. I'm not having Max Muncy do anything to the Bombers.
It's a price thing.
New York.
The price is a good price for a guy that could hit a lot of home runs in this series. It's a price thing. And if he does have the most homers, you know, the Dodgers are probably winning the series, and it's a little fail safe for you. A little something to fall back on.
Oh, they want to give Ohtani the MVP already.
I know they do. I know they want to give it to Ohtani. All right, I'll finish the baseball.
Ohtani, I'll give you something.
And then
one of these.
And then I got a lot of college football we're going to get to.
Want to know who to draft and who to avoid in fantasy football? Or want to know who to place NFL season future bets on? Get an insider edge from the former NFL team doctors at Sports Injury Central. The 2024 NFL preseason injury guide is the only in-depth injury report analyzing all 32 teams and over 150 players. So go to sixscore.com to get the most accurate NFL preseason injury report. That's sixscore.com.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I see this market value projection for Soto. I guess I'm concerned about the years that they're talking about here, Mike. I mean, 14 years. I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Let me tell you something. I wouldn't put too much stock into this. The Sport Track projected market value, 14 years, $513 million. I don't think it will be that many. He's not signing a 14-year deal. That is not. That it might be $513 million. For 10, not 14. They got the dollars maybe right. I even think the dollars are going to be short, but he's not signing 14 years. I don't think that that's going to be the case whatsoever. But let's get through this next 2 weeks first. I can't think about the future. Yeah. I need to think about now. I want to see him win first, and then we'll deal with all the money and the nonsense with him afterwards. Now, the Mets season is over, so they have 10 pending free agents from their playoff roster: Alonso, Bader, Iglesias, Minaya, JD Martinez, Quintana, Severino, Winker, Ottavino, Stanek. That's a lot of guys off of a team that just went to the NLCS. Stearns and the crew there are going to have a lot of work to do this offseason.
Yeah, look, I think they're making a mistake with Alonso. I won't be surprised he's gone. Bader's gone. I think Iglesias gone. I think Minaya gone. I think definitely JD Martinez gone. Quintana's a guy I think they should keep. I think they should consider keeping the lefty. I think Severino gone. I think Winker stays. I think Ottavino and Stanek both gone.
Ottavino stinks. They should absolutely get rid of him. Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball finally sold at auction. $4.39 million for the baseball. And this is why anytime that they try, you catch a ball that even has any kind of significance, don't let them bring you downstairs and try to strong arm you with some signed jersey and a picture. Make sure you walk out of there with the ball, because this guy got $4.39 million for that baseball. Set. Finished. I mean, just, you got to be kidding me.
He's quitting his job today. It's over. He's getting a yacht.
He should be doing that. And last baseball thing for you today. Major League Baseball wants the Rays to find a local replacement because Tropicana Field most likely is not going to be ready by April, of course, wrecked by Hurricane Milton. Now, people just assumed that, they're going to play in Montreal or something like that. That's not happening. Baseball wants them to stay in Florida. Now, they do spring training in Port Charlotte, which I guess is what, an hour south, 45 minutes south of Tampa. Like, there's not many great options when you think about it. I don't know where they're going to play next year.
All those stadiums, the Legends Field, Sarasota Ed Smith, Port Charlotte, all of them are minor league spring training facilities. They are not built for regular season baseball. I mean, I have no idea what they're going to do. I got to be honest with you. They got a real bad situation there. I mean, I even saw one, I saw someone joking that, play without the roof. Just play baseball there. And at some level, well, where the hell else are they going to play? They're not going to play in Port Charlotte. The 5,000 seats.
I know. Look, and people bring up the Jays played in Dunedin yet during COVID. Yeah, but there was nobody there. There was nobody coming to the games, which is why the Jays played in Dunedin. It didn't matter that it was a minor league ballpark. So, listen, it's a very unfortunate situation. We've all made fun of the Trop for a very long time about what a dump it is. I mean, a hurricane ripped the roof off the thing. But they're going to have to figure something out in short order because that place ain't going to be ready by April. It's probably not going to be the whole year, but they're going to have to get through
I think,
at least a couple of months.
They're building a new one anyway. They need to tear it down.
Correct. They are going to be building that new stadium down there, so we shall see with that. All right, I have lots of college to do with you. I know I got Stewie coming up next. We'll get his picks for the Zozo and all that. Quickly, those games were awful last night. You already said this with Gabe, though. Sam Houston, the field looked awesome. That Miami Vice stuff they did at FIU last night, but God, the game was pathetic. And La Tech beat UTEP. There's two games tonight, Liberty and Ferrell-Saw State.
Let's go back. I don't even care about those crappy games. Let's go back. Do you remember when the Marlins played at Hard Rock? Could they turn that back into a stadium and let the Rays play there?
Maybe.
Guardians, despite being at home in the land, were a home underdog against Tarek Skubal. Enter Lane Thomas, maybe one of the under-the-radar trade deadline acquisitions being dealt from the Nationals. He was huge in the ALDS.
A heavy favorite for the New York Yankees in the series. You're going to look to their best two ball players to be those MVPs. That's Juan Soto and it's Aaron Judge.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C. And that means that Keith Stewart from Read the Line is with us as always to give us his preview and picks for this week's event, which is very far from us. To the Far East we go for the Zozo. I think it might have been you or somebody else mentioning this, Keith. Like, I guess you would consider this because of the 78 no-cut field, I guess sort of the signature event of the swing season, right? I mean, that's kind of what the Zozo is as we look at this field at the Accordia Narashino Country Club. I've seen one or the other, or them both put together, however you actually want to do it. This is where they had the Olympics, of course, a couple years ago when Xander won the gold. So we have seen this place. Colin Morikawa is our defending champion. Good to see you as always, Keith.
Mike, it's a pleasure to be with you on a Golf Wednesday, and we've seen this golf course before. This is the 6th edition. We did lose one over there in Japan because of the pandemic. We played that one in America. Patrick Cantley won that one, so don't look at 2020. But the other ones, Tiger, Hideki, Keegan, and, of course, Colin a year ago. We have the history. Let's get right into it.
Tell us a little bit about the weather this week, Narashino itself. Any changes from the last time we saw it? Does the weather look good? Because we talked last week about Vegas, and the weather ended up playing a very big role in terms of they couldn't get out on the course Friday and Saturday morning. They had a lot of problems.
I mean, everything we talked about last week came true. Even though they moved the tee times, there was a 3-stroke advantage, for the AM, PM guys. So the early and then the late on Friday guys. We played most of those guys, and things worked out for us. So if you had JT Poston, then congratulations to you. Looking ahead to this week, the weather just looks a little cool and a little damp over there in Japan. Nothing that's going to, I think, upset the traffic flow. We're going to have Thursday through Sunday. Now, I said Saturday there by mistake because I want everyone to know that golf starts tonight. Those lineups and everything, the bets, you got to get them in by about 7 p.m. tonight, 7:30 at the latest. If you want to go pre-tournament, we have golf over in Japan, and this Accordia Golf Narashino Cherry Country Club over there, I'm telling you, it is 36 holes of target golf. Now, they use the West Coast, or the West Course for this event, and one of the things that's really cool you're going to notice, Mike, when you watch the coverage is that every hole has 2 greens. And the reason for that is over in Japan, it's very customary to put 2 greens in at these affluent country clubs because they have Bermuda grass on one and bent grass on the other. And you know how we love to pay attention to agronomy. Well, they're using 17 bent grass greens this week. So that's what we'll model for. The 4th hole, for whatever reason, they're using Bermuda grass. There must be a maintenance issue. But when you see the 2 greens, it's kind of cool. And it really implies a target approach to this golf course. On approach, we've got 5 par 3s. That's unique to the scorecard. We've got these really kind of bipolar-ish par 4s. There's 5 of them under 425 and 5 over 480. It really is just a tree line, 73 bunkers, 5 holes with water. You got to be a good ball striker. And look at the list of champions. It certainly proves it.
All right, let's get right into it, Keith. As you mentioned, we only got a couple hours before they tee off, so get your slips in now for the Zozo. Outrights. I love when we're reading the same mail. This guy's been pretty good in the swing season. Bo Hostler getting involved.
I mean, Bo Hostler's got a great history here. He's T16, T2 a year ago. He was runner-up to Colin Morikawa. He's had a very good fall. He's gaining over 6 strokes per event in the fall against the field. What more is there to say? He got blown away in the bad wave last week at the Shriners, but he didn't play bad. And he gained over 7 strokes with the putter. I like that coming into this week at a place where he has very, very good history. I also love Kurt Kiniyama. I mean, is anybody hitting the ball better than this guy? He's probably the 2nd best ball striker in the field behind Xander. In his 2 fall swing events, Carver, get this, tee to green, he's gained over 12 strokes on the field both times. Now, there's been some problems with the putter, but if you look at the past champions here, Hideki, Keegan, not necessarily flat stick aficionados, if you know what I mean. Further down the board, speaking of guys that can putt, how about Andrew Putnam, right? Last week, I liked him for a top 20, and he cashed for us on that placement board. Andrew has a good history here. 2022, he was runner-up. He leads the field in greens and regulation over the last 24 rounds. The guy's accurate on approach, and he can putt. At 80-1, we're going to have some fun with this thing. 4 rounds and 78 players. I think a guy like Andrew Putnam on a positional golf course, which he's good at, like a Wailea, he's definitely a threat in my mind, and he's playing well. And then the last guy, the G-Man, Gary Woodland, First top 10 since his brain surgery, right? Last week at the Shriners. And everyone, the ball striking's there. Over his last 5, he's gained over 6 shots tee to green. It's always been the putter. But guess what? Last week at the Shriners, he gains almost 4 strokes with the putter. And I talked to people in his camp. He's changed his practice regimen. He's using a lab putter. Still has the Odyssey Gamer for the tournaments, but he's changed some things around, and no one would. I mean, the golf gods, they got to give us Gary Woodland at 80-1.
They certainly do. It would be great to see Gary. I'm going to add him to the card because I got a little feeling for it as well, Keith. I hope that he comes through. Let's get to the placements next. And look at what we have here. A Willie Z sighting in Japan this week.
Hey, I know we're limited on time. Top 10, I'm going Hostler. I feel good about his history here and the way he's been playing. Willie Z, last time we saw him, 12th at the FedEx, 13th at the BMW, and then all of a sudden, he disappears, but he's back. Positional golf course that needs ball striking. You know what, Willie Z? We'd love to come back there as well. The Gim Reaper, final group last week, pushed the postman to the bitter end. I like the Gim Reaper here. Again, another place where he doesn't have to putt necessarily well, that his ball striking will take over. I'm taking Putnam again at top 20. Now, Carver, there's 14 guys from the Japanese Golf Tour in this event. I'm going with Ryosuke Kinoshita, right? Okay, runner-up last week at the Japan Open. This guy, he played at Royal Troon. Since then, he's got, listen to this. He's got 7th, 17th, 6th, and 2nd there at the Japan Open. He's played good here before. He understands how to get it done over in the Zozo. Japanese player, plus 225 on a top 30. He's got to beat half the field. And then one more name, a name that you probably remember, Ryo Ishikawa. At some point, this guy in his career, he was 29th in the world. Remember, he was like the next Tiger Woods from Japan. He was a huge star. But you know what? He's still playing over there. He's playing well. Last year in the Japan Open, he finished 2nd. He came over there to the Zozo, and then he finished 4th. A couple weeks ago at the Japan Open, finished 8th. What will he do this week? He's going to finish in the top 30 and give us 3.5-1.
It certainly is. And like you said, there's a lot of things that those players from the Japan Tour can get by winning this event. Some huge things such as Masters invites, 2 years, etc. Very, very important indeed. Head-to-heads. And look, we always go after someone, and I know you're happy to see Max Homa back out there.
Oh, there's no doubt I'm happy to see Max Homa out there on a golf course where you really have to put the driver in play. So I'm rolling the dice, and I'm taking Johnny Vegas over Max Homa at plus money. Vegas, it's a ball striker's paradise, and he's that type of guy who will put the ball in play consistently. Max has got to play better than he has. He wasn't good in Montreal when I was there on property. And the second one, I'm taking JT over Minwoo Lee. Minwoo Lee's approach game was atrocious in Montreal, and it needs to be a lot better going into this event, being such a target-oriented golf course. So I'm taking JT at minus 120.
I was saying earlier, Keith, to Cam, I think that JT and his wife are expecting a baby in a couple weeks, so really a last chance for him to focus in on golf. I'm hopefully sprinkling a little dust on JT at 20-1 here to see if we can get it.
Here's the thing. Here's the secret to this place. Hideki, Keegan, these guys are expert scramblers, right? JT is an unbelievable wedge player. That's the secret sauce around this place. Yep. Get a guy that can score from short range on those short par 4s and the par 5s like a JT, and you're going to have a positive card this weekend.
Keith, I believe we will see you here on the network as well tomorrow because you're on the Smiley Show tomorrow here on SportsGrid. How about that?
Yeah, those guys reached out. They are big fans of Golf Wednesday, and they wanted to take it to the podcast. I couldn't have been happier to join them. And so tune in, everybody. Check me out on the Smiley Show. We're talking golf betting, education, everything. It just was so much fun. Great time with the guys.
And I'll see you back in 2 weeks as we will be going to Mexico in 2 weeks for that. Keith Stewart, read the line, coast to coast. We're back so right after this.
Guardians, despite being at home in the land, were a home underdog against Tarek Skubal. Enter Lane Thomas, maybe one of the under-the-radar trade deadline acquisitions being dealt from the Nationals. He was huge in the ALDS.
A heavy favorite for the New York Yankees in the series. You're going to look to their best two ball players to be those MVPs. That's Juan Soto and it's Aaron Judge.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
There's some big college football games this weekend, Carver High, and even Thursday night, that Syracuse Pitt game is going to be pretty good tomorrow night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I know you're going to talk about that one tomorrow. That's at the place the Steelers play tomorrow night, where Syracuse, who's 5-1, is going to come in for Pitt, who is 6-0. Eli Holstein, first Pitt quarterback to win his first 6 starts since Dan Marino. That is some impressive company. And they're laying 6 in that game. That might be a little too much. They might win, but that's a lot of points.
Yeah, I think that's scary. McLeod's a good quarterback. Syracuse is a decent team. I think they might be able to cover that wood.
Let me give you some more big ones for Saturday here. Navy, of course, undefeated. Navy and Army both still undefeated, the service academies. They will be playing Notre Dame. Now, this game at MetLife in Jersey in the Swamp, I've got Notre Dame now up to 13. They were 12.5 this morning. 51.5 is the total here. Look, it's very rare that Navy or Army beats Notre Dame, and I expect them to be able to take care of business. They'll probably screw around in this game a little bit like they did for a half with Georgia Tech last week, but I think they will get the job done.
I mean, I think Notre Dame F's around with them, and I can see Navy covering. Navy's good. They're undefeated. They mean business. This is their Super Bowl, playing Notre Dame at MetLife in East Rutherford. You got to be kidding me. I think it could be a great game.
Look, it would not stun me if Navy covers this game. Knowing how the Irish operate, I do think they'll win, though. I don't think they'll lose to Navy. But yes, they absolutely could mess around with them a little too much. Number 1, Oregon at home, Saturday, 3:30 East, for number 20, Illinois, who's now 6-1 after beating Michigan last week. And not much respect here. They're still getting 21.5 is what Oregon's laying right now with a 54.5 total.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very scary bet, but, I think it's worth taking a shot with the 21 and a hook with Illinois. I love their quarterback. I like their team. I think Bielema's done a great job with them. They mean business. They kicked Michigan's ass. They've been hard to play for everybody. I think it's going to be a better football game than 21 and a hook.
You like some more big spreads for you. How about at Hard Rock on Saturday night, where Miami will have the annual rivalry game with Florida State? The problem is Florida State is pathetic this year, now sitting at 1-6. I've actually got this up to 21. It's 20.5 there on the board. I see 21 in some spots, a full 3 tutties, and a 54.5 total.
Well, recently they beat Miami team 45-3 and rubbed it in their face. I think Miami's going to return serve here and rub it in their face. I think that Miami will blow them out and cover.
I agree with you. Smash job for the Hurricanes Saturday night under the lights at Hard Rock. Smash them. Absolute smash job. Missouri visiting Alabama. Saturday, 3:30 East kick in Tuscaloosa. Now, Alabama, remember we said this the other day, they are now playing on the line. They have 2 losses, and 3 is probably going to put you away, especially when one of those losses is to Vanderbilt. Missouri 6-1 so far this year. Alabama minus 13.5 with a 55.5.
Well, remember the egg that Missouri laid at Kyle Field? They got whacked by A&M. I'm not going to be surprised at all if the same thing happens here at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa.
Would not stun me either. Really big night game in the SEC as well. The only 2 teams that have not lost in conference play. Now, LSU and Texas A&M have a loss, Scotty, but they have not lost an SEC game yet. Texas A&M's 4-0, LSU's 3-0, so the winner will have sole possession of first in the conference. It's at Kyle Field. Texas A&M minus 2.5, 53.5 the total.
I just think that is an atmosphere they can take advantage of. I think it's good for 3 to 4 points at least. I like A&M at Kyle Field and the 12th man Saturday night.
All right, I got more for you. I'm not done. I got racks, too, on a Wednesday. We've got big games, and we've got racks. Here we go. Nebraska visiting Ohio State. Nebraska got throttled in Bloomington last week. Now they're catching 25.5 at the shoe. Indiana not going to have Rourke, still laying 6.5 against Washington. Ole Miss laying almost 3 tutties at home against Oklahoma. How about UCF, 1.5-point favorite over undefeated BYU in Orlando? Texas laying on the road at Vandy.
Well, I think Ohio State's going to do the same thing to Nebraska that Indiana did to them. They're going to kill them. I think Indiana will cover and beat Washington because the rest of that football team is really good. I know they lost Rourke, but we'll see if this guy Jackson can get it done. Ole Miss will beat Oklahoma and cover. There's no way I'm betting on Central Florida. They have stunk, and BYU's undefeated. They're going to go there to Orlando, and they're going to beat them. That'll be that. And then Texas, Vanderbilt. I like Texas, but I like Vanderbilt to cover the number.
Penn State takes the trip to Madtown to see Wisconsin this week. The Badgers, of course, have been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. Penn State, the road favorite. Michigan State, minus 3.5 at the Big House. Kansas State laying 9.5 in their rivalry game against the Jayhawks. SMU, 11.5-point favorites in Durham against Duke, who's been pretty good this year. And Colorado and Dion, 5.5-point favorites over Cincinnati. You know, the Bearcats have been playing some pretty decent football as well in the Big 12.
I think they'll lose at Boulder, and I think the Buffs will cover. I think Duke will cover the number in Durham against SMU. Kansas State will punk Kansas in Manhattan. Michigan will beat Michigan State. They stink. Michigan's bad, but they don't stink. And I think Wisconsin covers the number in Camp Randall and upsets Penn State outright. The big win for Fickle and the Badgers. It's really their biggest game.
It is their biggest game. This would be huge for Fickle if he could ever get this done at home against Franklin and the Nittany Lions. So there you go. Lots of huge college action. I have one other rack that I'm going to try to sneak in leftovers when we come back. Some lesser games, but we can take them all to the window. That's what matters at the end of the day. I got some hockey for you as well when we come back with the leftovers.
What a night last night with every single team in the league playing, and there was all kinds of upsets that we didn't see coming at all. So I thought that was good for the NHL.
Guardians, despite being at home in the land, were a home underdog against Tarek Skubal. Enter Lane Thomas, maybe one of the under-the-radar trade deadline acquisitions being dealt from the Nationals. He was huge in the ALDS.
A heavy favorite for the New York Yankees in the series. You're going to look to their best two ball players to be those MVPs. That's Juan Soto and it's Aaron Judge.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, guys?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got another rack of ribs for us for Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to give you one more before we go. Georgia Tech is at Virginia Tech in the ACC. We've got Maryland and Minnesota in the Big Ten. Texas Tech and TCU. How about TCU? We never got together. How about them winning at Utah last week in that miserable game? Washington State at San Diego State. And the late-night bailout blowout on the islands at midnight East has Nevada and Hawaii this week.
Yeah, look, I think it's too many points for Virginia Tech to cover even in Blacksburg. I think Georgia Tech covers that number. If King plays, if Haynes King isn't playing, then I guess I would back out of that. I like Minnesota over Maryland, Texas Tech at TCU. I cannot believe TCU's favored. They've been awful. Washington State will beat San Diego State at Snapdragon. I think they can beat their ass. They're pretty bad. And Nevada, Hawaii. Yeah, I think Hawaii can win that game on the Big Island. Nevada will go out there and screw that up nice and juicy.
Yeah, they probably will. I don't disagree there. All right, hockey now.
Everybody
you said you watched. I watched a pretty good couple hours of that Frozen Frenzy, which I thought was really cool. They were bouncing back and forth every game. They were tallying up the goals. They did a really cool job with it. Now maybe they should do it more than just once a year. Like they should do that like once a month is what they should do that, is play every team in an entire night. You weren't wrong about those upsets either. Wild won in Florida against the Panthers. The Caps won in Philadelphia. Tampa won in New Jersey. The Jackets beat the Leafs 6-2 at home. You had the Predators winning. You had the Senators winning in Utah. The Ducks beat the Sharks. There was a lot of action last night across the league, and the Islanders sucked. They lost 1-0 to the that was an upset, too. They lost at the horse track to the Red Wings.
Patty Kane with the only goal in that game, and then the Flames game was good with the Penguins. Flames won it 4-3. We had the Flames winning. It was a 6-round shootout.
It was. Tonight, there is only one game now because of that. So the Flyers and the Caps played in Philadelphia last night. Caps kicked their ass. Now they go down the pike to D.C. Same matchup here. Washington minus $145 now, minus $150, and plus 125 for the Flyers.
Beat them once, beat them again. Give me the Caps.
Why not, right? Caps again tonight at home over Philadelphia. The UFC and their fighters, or the fighters in that lawsuit, closed on a $375 million settlement that's just waiting for the judge's approval for the first of the two antitrust lawsuits against the UFC. Of course, there's several of those that are floating out there, Scotty. Fighters want money from the UFC.
That's one of two antitrust lawsuits. So one settlement at $375 million, and then there'll be another one that they want to settle on as well. with a company that's making billions, I don't think it's really that big of a deal at the end of the day for the UFC to have to pay out a couple of lawsuits. Ferrall finished former Penn State football players Jameel Lyons and Kavion Keys charged with rape and other sex crimes, allegedly. Charges come 3 months after both were considered to be no longer with the team or the program or enrolled at the school. They both went there on full scholarship, and then they started doing nasty stuff on campus to chicks, and now they got nothing but problems in their lives. An elderly woman decapitated as she plunged to her death from a New York City skyscraper. Nothing like seeing a chick flying past your window with no head, especially during Ferralloween. A deranged old man slits the throat of a 7-year-old girl playing in a Detroit park. You know you've got something wrong with you when you're slicing the throats of 7-year-olds. Head and hands of a 16-year-old Colorado girl missing since 2005, finally found in a freezer at a recently sold home. Can you imagine looking in the freezer and seeing a head and hands frozen? An Arkansas father arrested for allegedly killing his daughter's stalker, a 67-year-old stalker. When the dad found him, he killed him, handling his business accordingly for stalking his young daughter. Unbelievable. Port Authority cops slashed by a madman who then tried to steal a cop car on the George Washington Bridge. Mafia and I have caused a lot of trouble on that bridge. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com because there's a lot happening there. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently. Yeah, another beautiful shot. This guy's making this look so easy.
Having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.